Jennifer from my-colorado-kitchen.com. Today we are going to be making some citrusy carnitas. We're going to start by preheating our oven to 350 degrees. Then we're going to get a large stock pot or a Dutch oven, and we're going to put that on the stove. We're going to turn it on medium-high heat to let it get nice and hot. Once that pot is hot, we'll add 2 tablespoons of butter to it. Then we're going to add in a 3 to 4 pound pork shoulder or pork butt. They could be called those 2 different names. What I like to do is I like to get mine at Costco. They have a really big pork shoulder, pork butt, and I cut it into fourths, and then I can use that for 4 different meals, 4 different times of cooking these carnitas. To know, I'm going to be teaching you today how to cook carnitas in the oven, but I also have the instructions on my website of how to do this in a crock pot. I know so many of you are busy working full time, and a crock pot would just be a better option. So there is an option for that in the recipe card, which I will link in the description below. Once that butter is melted, we're going to take our 3 to 4 pound pork shoulder, we're going to put it in our hot pot, and then we are going to top that with 2 teaspoons of salt. We're just going to sear that pork shoulder on each side for about 3 to 4 minutes. If you want more from scratch recipes using whole, real ingredients for everyday cooking, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. I post 2 new recipes each week. While that pork butt is searing, locking in all of that juices and that flavor, we're going to mix up our braising liquid that we'll add to the pot. We're gonna start with 4 bay leaves. You could do fresh bay leaves if you wanted. I just happen to do some dried ones because it's what I have on hand. Next, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. Then we'll add 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. Then next, we're gonna add all of our citrus. So these are really citrusy carnitas. And so we are going to add some lemons, some limes, and some oranges to this. We're gonna do the juice of 2 oranges, or about a cup. If your oranges aren't very juicy, feel free to add another orange to it. You could also use the orange juice. Just try to get the not from concentrate kind if that's easier. The fresh juices are going to be so much better than the bottled juices, but if that's all you have, that's okay. These carnitas are so flavorful with all of these juices in there. It is seriously amazing. The best carnitas I've ever had. Next, we're going to add the juice of 2 lemons. And lastly, for our citrus, we're going to add the juice of 1 lime. I really love to use this citrus press. I will link mine in the description below. Next, we're going to add 4 cloves of garlic. You want to dice these up super thin, or you could use a garlic press to do this. That's what I personally like to use. I used to be terrified of garlic. Whenever I would hit the knife with my hand, I was just so timid and terrified, and now I probably smash it too hard. I'll link this garlic press in the description below, but it works so great for when you need to just mince garlic like this. It's got this handy dandy cleaning tool that helps get all of the garlic out of it. It's great. So the last thing that we're going to add for our braising liquid is going to be chicken stock or chicken broth. Either one will work. I love this one from Costco. There are so many good ones out there. I really like to actually make it homemade, but if I don't have enough, which I don't right now, then I just buy this. We're going to do 3 cups of the chicken broth. We're just gonna whisk all this liquid together. You're just giving it a little stir so that all of the ingredients kind of mesh. Then the final step before we put this in the oven to let it cook is we're going to add our braising liquid straight into the pan of that seared pork shoulder. Then we're gonna put this lid on. We're going to put it in our 350 degree oven, and we're going to let it cook for about 4 to 5 hours. You will want to check on it periodically to just make sure that liquid hasn't gone down too much. If it does, no big deal, just add some more chicken broth to it, or water if you don't have any more chicken broth. Once those carnitas have baked for about that 4 to 5 hour mark and they are nice and tender, you're going to pull it out of the oven and you're going to shred the meat. I started this one earlier in case you were wondering why my pot is different. I like to use these claws, and I'll grab out some pieces of the carnita. To shred it, I just shred it with 2 forks. I don't love the fat, so often I will be very picky on what fat I allow to stay in the carnitas, which is why I pull it out of my pan. If you like the fat, then you can shred it right in your pan. Look at that fall apart. It's so great. If you would like your carnitas to cook a little bit faster, make sure you just cut up that big pound of meat, the big pounds of meat, and they'll cook a little bit faster in your Dutch oven. You're going to want to put the meat right back in that pan because we're not done yet. These carnitas can be used for so many yummy dinners. You could serve them as like a carnita bowl, just with some rice and just any of your favorite toppings. You could do a carnitas breakfast bowl, which I'll show you how to make in another video. Let me know in the comments what you do with these carnitas. I can't wait to hear about all of your creative dishes. Once it's all shredded, I also like to remove those bay leaves. And then our final step is we're going to put this back on our stovetop where we started, and we're just going to heat it up, and we're going to let it heat for about 10 to 15 minutes until those juices all become thickened. So we are not wasting any of that braising liquid. It is going to cook into those carnitas and just be so great. And once you find that that sauce is thickened to your liking, you are ready to serve. Serve it your favorite tacos, burrito bowls, breakfast bowls. The sky's the limit. These citrusy carnitas, I feel like, can last us 2 to 3 meals for my family of 4. But obviously eat as much as you want. They are so good. Thank you guys so much for making the citrusy carnitas with me. If you like this recipe, make sure you hit that subscribe button and then give it a thumbs up and then hit that bell so you never miss a recipe. For the full printable recipe details, including the crock pot instructions, those are on my website at my-colorado-kitchen.com, and I'll also link them in the description below. From my kitchen to yours, happy cooking!